Okay, so let's get right into this. Imagine this. You are one of the most brilliant law students in your country. You've put in the hours, you've beaten the competition, and you finally won a chance to represent your nation on the world stage. But there's just one huge problem. You can't actually go. Today we're talking about a massive opportunity for Pakistan's future lawyers and a major barrier that's getting in their way.
So, before we get into the weeds of the problem, let's just make sure we're all on the same page. You've probably heard the term moot court before, but what is it really? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like the World Cup, but for lawyers in training. A moot court is basically a mock trial where students step into the shoes of real lawyers. They argue these complex, hypothetical cases in front of actual judges. And we're not talking about simple stuff. They're tackling huge global issues. These prestigious competitions bring in the best teams from universities all over the planet. It is the ultimate legal arena. And it's right there, on that global stage, where a huge opportunity is being lost. So let's get to the heart of what's going on. Everything we're talking about today, it comes from this document right here. This is a letter sent back in May 2023. It's from the Women in Law Initiative, and it's addressed to the Pakistan Bar Council. And what it does is lay out a very clear, very persistent problem. So here's the bottom line. Incredibly talented students from all over Pakistan are good enough to qualify for these top-tier international competitions. They are proving they have the skills and the brain power to go head-to-head with the best in the world. The problem is, for so many of them, getting that invitation is the end of the road. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting, because the why isn't just one single thing. It's a whole mess of barriers. First up, the big one, money. We're talking about a total lack of financial support for things like flights and hotels. The letter points out there are no dedicated funds, no scholarships to help them out. But it's not just about the cash. Students are also facing this absolute maze of administrative red tape. Visas, applications, travel plans, all without anyone to guide them through it. And this quote, this really gets to the human cost of all this. See, this isn't just some logistical headache. It's a question of fairness. The letter makes it crystal clear that students from lower-income families, from less developed parts of the country, students who earn their spot fair and square, based on pure merit, they're the ones being shut out. The opportunity is there, but the access just isn't. So you might be thinking, all right, a few students miss out on a competition. Is it really that big of a deal? Well, yeah, the ripple effects here are way bigger than you might imagine. Let's just break this down. On one hand, you've got the students themselves. For them, this is so much more than a contest. It's the kind of experience you can't buy. Arguing against a team from a top Ivy League school, getting direct feedback from an international judge. It's about building a global network for your entire career. But then you zoom out, and you see what's at stake for Pakistan. This is a chance to put the country's legal talent on display, to boost its reputation on the world stage, and, this is so important, to have these students bring all that world-class experience back home, raising the bar for everyone. But here's the good news. The letter doesn't just point fingers at the problem, it actually proposes a really clear solution, and it's aimed at the one group that can truly make a difference. Yep, the call to action is directed right at the top to the Pakistan Bar Council. I mean, the letter calls them the apex body of lawyers in the country. Promoting legal education is a huge part of their job, which makes them the perfect ones to step up and fix this. And the solution they're proposing? It's a pretty straightforward, common-sense three-step plan. First, the Bar Council needs to take the lead, to really own this and coordinate the effort. Step 2, and this is probably the most critical part, is to create a dedicated fund to cover the cost for these students. And finally, step 3 is to set up a system that helps with all the logistics and the paperwork just to make the whole process smoother. So there you have it. All the pieces are on the table. We've got a clear problem, a huge potential upside, and a direct, totally doable solution. It really all boils down to one simple choice. And that leaves us with this one big question. These students have done the hard work. They've proven they belong on the same stage as the world's best. They've earned their spot. The question now is whether the system will finally step up and give them the global stage they so clearly deserve.